RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Look at me. Oh my God, what a mess. What a mess. Where's my light? I didn't turn anything on. I'm a wreck. Oh, Jesus Christ. Hello, everybody. This is Tara Devlin. How's it sounding? Fuck. How's it looking? I can barely hear myself. Oh my God. How you doing out there? Sounds good? Okay, good. I don't know. I can only hear half. It's not coming out of one of my headphones ears. All right, looks good, sounds good. As you can see, I got my living room painted finally. The friggin' CDs are gone finally. Thank you. I know the paint looks good. It's much to my relief. Now I got to do the kitchen. I have to do my bedroom. But this was something that was weighing on me, and it took some time, and I got sick. Oh God, I've been whatever. Last week I got sick, and then couldn't help it. The painters were here, so there was nothing I can do except endure. And then I kind of passed out for the rest of the weekend. I think I was telling you guys, I didn't have COVID. I had some kind of chest thing. I don't know, whatever. Who cares? Let's not talk about it. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. I apologize once again for not being able to do a weekday show this week. It was another one of those things. And I will try to rectify that. Okay? Yes, that's another thing. Oh, Jim on the chat, you reminded me. I wanted to grab some of those Project 2025 videos, but I forgot as I was preparing. And that's why I was late for the show. Because one other thing, let's hope nothing happens. Last week, the friggin' stream crapped out in the middle of the show. And it was taking me a long time to get everything up and running. I don't know. The computer's relatively new, but I feel like I don't know what's going on with I have Spectrum. They suck, but it's been a little bit intermittent, and it hasn't been as stable as it once was. The stream, I should say. And so I'm hoping hoping it doesn't crap out on us again. That was really annoying. And what else? So, and as I was trying to get the stream going, it was just taking forever. Everything was taking forever to load. So, I might need a new computer soon. I don't know whatever. Who cares? Let's not talk about it. We have so many other things to talk about because we haven't been together in a week. And I try to not have that happen. But, okay, thank you, Jim, for your super chat right out of the gate, as always. Thank you guys for seeing the stream and jumping on for our Friday get-together. So, I don't know what I'd do without you. I'd be very depressed if I got on here and nobody showed up. Also, thank you, Charlie from APS Radio News, for keeping the show going and growing. That and everything else you do to make the world a better place. Really. I don't know what we'd do without you on this planet. This planet needs a lot of work. Right, Boudica? There's Boudica. She got a new collar. She's got a new pink collar, and she looks very cute. If I can grab her. Come here, Booty. All right, later. All right, and what else? So what else was I going to say? Oh, yeah, if you can become a patron, please do at patreon.com/Tara Devlin to help keep the show going and growing. You can be a one-off. I'm sweating here. You can be a one-off donator, subscriber, whatever the hell. And, in the PayPal, there's links in the damn thing. I got to say these things. I hate e-begging, but that's the way it is when you're in the liberal friggin' media. This is the liberal media. I know. You're looking at it. And, it's tired. We don't have big billionaire benefactors. We only have each other. So that's it. We can only rely on each other. All right. What else? What else? Okay. I watched Traitor Trump's press conference. There's so many things that's swimming in my mind. I do feel a sense of hope because I believe. I always believed that Joe Biden would win the election. I don't know. Maybe I'm in my own little bubble here in New York. I know that, well, to a degree I am, but I also can't believe. Even when they were up in the polls, down in the polls, I just could not believe that this country, that there are so many morons who want that monster, that less vote getting disgusting con man back in office, that serial bankrupt sexual predator, convicted felon, goddamn whiny bitch. That's one of the things, about him that sucks besides everything else. I mean, there really are no redeeming qualities about the con man, but the whining, the absolute whining. And the fact is that there are more normal people in this country than there are not. Okay, there's a lot of racists in this country too, because you really got to think what are the Republicans selling these people, and you don't have to, really rack your brain about it too much. They're selling racism. They're selling division. They're selling anti-gay, anti-trans. They're selling the victimization, the professional victimitis of the straight white rich man. According to Republicans, they're the most oppressed minority in the country, I suppose, because if you have to be decent, or if you have to consider anybody else but yourself in the Republican worldview, then you're being put upon. Your freedom is under attack. But the thing is, with Traitor Trump, I mean, he is so whiny, and it's goddamn tedious when a 2-year-old does it. But this shit's been going on near 10 years now. We've been listening to his fucking victimitis, and I couldn't believe it. So, well, okay, let me roll back a little bit. I watched the entire so-called press conference. I know, right? I was thinking, I'm watching this so the Tarabuster community doesn't have to. And I'm doing it for you guys. You're welcome. But we're going to watch some clips of it. I actually grabbed the whole thing, so we'll probably just scrub through some of it. But I'm only going to I'm playing it because it's pretty much unfathomable how anybody in their right mind looks at that fucking con man and says, yeah, he's my leader. There's something you could say. I mean, if you look back, when the future generations, when we're all gone and the future looks back at this time, they're not going to look kindly on the Republican Party. Believe me. Mark those words. And it's true. Their time honoring themselves, it's coming to an end. They will, and I've been predicting it, that one day soon in the not too distant future, those who cheered the con man will only speak of it in shamed whispers. That day is coming. It's coming quacker, faster. I was going to say quicker and faster. Quacker, faster and quicker than I hoped. And that's much to my delight. And that's probably because of Tim Walz rebranding them as weird. And that nails that puts the nail right on the head there. It hits the nail on the head. Because, but they're not just weird. They're dangerous, right? They're anti-American. They're un-American. And when they say that they're, making America great again, now make no mistake, what they're talking about is, dragging us back to the Dark Ages. I've been saying this forever. And if you look at Project 2025, I don't care if females wrote it, because they're just, or partly, they were part of it. And this is what they do. They send in order to be a female Republican, you got to be a bigger misogynist. Hold on a second. We'll be right back. Tara Devlin. But they, in order to be a Republican female, you have to be a bigger misogynist than the Republican men. That's for damn sure. But the entire Republican agenda that's laid out in Project 2025, that's always been their agenda, by the way. Destroying democracy is the point. And some of them are right out of the closet now. For years they had to keep it under wraps. They had to pretend they would give lip service to democracy, but in every Republican chest beats the heart of fascism. So they would have to keep that a little bit on the down low, proclaim themselves super patriots while destroying everything that America stands for. But if you look at Project 2025, it is a misogynist document. It's a document of straight white male, rich hierarchy. And everyone else in your place. And that's what they think America's about. Well, hold on. They don't think America's, but they think that's... see, this is what they're confused about. They think that somehow liberals have gotten control of America. And we've turned it into this hellscape of diversity and equality and opportunity. And this is shit that they just can't stand. It's the truth. Now, hold on a second. For example, let me play this. This is a white nationalist. And that's another code word. When they talk about Christian nationalism, they're talking about the end of democracy. It's code words. Yeah, that they might as well just say, this is that they're an authoritarian cult. And that's what they said, even when, what's her face? Perjury Traitor Green. When Lauren Band from the bowling alley Bobert say, oh yeah, I'm a nationalist. I'm a Christian nationalist. What they really mean is that they hate democracy. And some of them are openly talking about it. And this is, for example, here's a Christian nationalist. His name is Joel Webbin. Has a media presence, and he doesn't have to say, please become a patron. Unfortunately, this is what we're up against. And here, let's just listen to him. And right out of his own hole, slithering filth hole. Wait, where's my goddamn eCam? See, I set it all up. Now I can't find that goddamn eCam. Hold on, here we go.
I have grown to despise democracy is because it's not we the people. It's we the some people. And who are those people?
Some people.
Non-elected officials.
Yeah.
Like the nonpartisan bureaucracy? This is what they're talking about. See, in their Project 2025, when they are attacking the so-called administrative state, what they're doing is dismantling democracy. Make no mistake. They couch it and they wrap it in the veneer of democracy. Like, if the traitor Trump can't get all of his whims fulfilled, unfettered by our pesky constitution or laws, then somehow the will of the people is not being honored, which you know that the Republicans couldn't give a shit about the will of the people. If that were the case, we wouldn't be under the tyranny of the minority for decades, where they get less votes, where they shove people into the White House despite receiving fewer votes, where Democrats win 1 million more votes in the House and in the Senate, and they still maintain a minority. That's absolutely unacceptable. There's so many things about this country where we can, the problems of this country can be traced to a failure of the media, by the way, frankly. You know, for example, they're saying now that Harris, finally, according to the polls, up in the polls, down in the polls, that VP Harris has overtaken Traitor Trump in positive views, how the people view her handling of the economy, how Traitor Trump will handle the economy, or as opposed to VP Harris when she becomes president. And finally, the people are giving they're saying that Harris is going to be better for the economy. And the fact is, that in itself, the fact that effing Traitor Trump or any Republican holds the mantle of being good for the economy is a failure of the media. Because the media should be ashamed of itself. The fact that the American people don't understand that measurably, according to math, history, reality, our own eyes, Democrats are good for the economy. Democrats, not Republicans. Republicans destroy the economy. And Democrats come in and clean it up. And we have the math and reality to back it up. So the fact that the American people, and then, of course, the corporate media, they always they stand back and ponder, how is this possible? Why doesn't it break through? Well, why don't you break it through? Why don't you say something about it? Why don't you, when the Republicans, or when in general, when you're doing another up in the polls, down in the polls, and you say that the American people think that Republicans are good for the economy, why don't you follow that statement up with a factual indicator, or say, well, the American people believe that the Republicans are better for the economy, despite measurable fact that they are not, that they suck when it comes to the economy. The only thing they're good at is making the rich richer and the working class the more malleable working poor. So it's all the fault of the media. And when I watch Traitor Trump's so-called press conference, oh my God, that was a press conference, my ass. I was appalled at that the media played this rambling laundry list of lies without any interruption, without fact-checking him. Now, I don't know. They must have had, the con man, of course, had a lot of plants in his audience. Of course, it was, this stupid thing took place on his tacky golf course in New Jersey, where he had a lot of sycophants standing off camera applauding his fucking fragile ass. Like a little pathetic little bitch. He needs a lot of validation, because deep inside that fragile skin, he knows just how inadequate he truly is. He knows what a fraud he is. That's why he needs the constant, sucking his ass. Oh, hold on. Well, let me continue with this asshole here. His name is, what's his name again? Jack. No, Jack. What the hell? Where is my folder? He's Christian nationalist Joel Webbin. He looks like a real dirtbag too, right?
Democracy, what it lends its strength to, is instead of having elected officials that have power, is a raw universal, because that's what we have, is a universal
Incredible.
Democracy. Everyone is allowed to vote, right? Everyone. And just for the
don't you love, and I put that in quotes, scare quotes, how Republicans, right wingers, these fascist freaks, they wrap their destruction, their attacks on our system of government, that every veteran, every person that ever gave their life for this country, for democracy, fought for. Every person that Traitor Trump disparages with his filthy, disgusting, attacks on anyone who ever served this country, because he can't imagine it. Why would you serve your country when you can serve yourself? This is that's the whole Republican agenda too. But in case, I'm sure you've noticed, even their whole Atlas Shrugged bullshit, their whole philosophy that, what's her name? Ayn Rand, the sociopath, who famously said altruism is evil. These are the people they honor and worship, right? So when you say that, as far as Traitor Trump, the history's going to just look back on him as the disgusting con man, worst thing that ever happened to humanity, and that he is. The worst thing that ever happens to this country, just a waste of human DNA. They will, the future will not look fondly on him. But what's it going to say about the sycophants, Traitor Trump's cheerleaders, the maggots, the dumbasses who sent him $5 for his super PAC, his Save America PAC that he didn't even bother setting up. That's how much that's how confident he was and is in the stupidity of the dumbasses who worship him. The NFT salesman, the one who thinks he's appealing to people with darker pigment by selling them sneakers and merchandise with his fucking ugly mug on it as his mugshot, where they love to say, of course the merchandise says, never surrender, when he's literally in the act of surrendering. That just says it all. The cognitive dissonance meets the Dunning-Kruger effect, meets a complete meltdown of sanity. How much do you have to hate yourself to make that con man your hero, your god? But okay, and to wrap your attempt to put that dirtbag into the executive office, not as a president, but as a king, to wrap it all in the veneer of some kind of high-minded, constitutional scholarship, like this asshole, like Joel Minton. What's his name again? How come I keep forgetting it? Webbin. Why? Who's Minton? Must be somebody else. Joel Webbin.
Okay, I think the 19th Amendment should be repealed. I think that because, first and foremost, because I'm a Christian.
Unbelievable.
That is the Christian position. Oh my gosh, that you're saying.
Because women are shit, right?
That is the Christian position, is that households should not be divided against one another.
Unbelievable.
So it's not just elevating a male vote, but it's elevating the household vote. We're saying,
well, why don't you let the woman do the voting then, and you help her, a little helper role, Oh no, because you got an Audi instead of an innie, you're superior. You see, this is Republicans. They hate freedom. They really do. The Republican mind is they're just wedded to hierarchy, and it stems from their large amygdalas. I mean, they've done studies on this. This is not me talking. They have larger fear centers. That's why everything is fear. Everything sucks. Everybody's coming to get you. They're coming to kill you. And democracy is simply too scary and complex, and especially a multiracial liberal democracy where, everyone has a seat at the table. That's very scary to them. Which is why, I mean, you could see how they attack, Harris, they attack Walz. For example, they're attacking Walz for signing a bill that made tampons accessible in high schools. So fucking what? But they're saying, it's tampons are in boys' rooms, boys' bathrooms, and it's very confusing to them because the bill that Walz signed it doesn't specifically say that tampons have to be dispensing the machines of tampons or whatever have to be in the girls' room, and but it talks about it has to be accessible to anyone who menstruates. Okay, it has gender neutral language. That's very upsetting to Republicans, to people who need hierarchy. They need people to be in their place, regardless of what the people themselves want. If you want to live in a hierarchy, go for it. Go hang out with the goddamn Duggars. Have 19 kids and counting. No one's stopping you. Go be sweet. Be sweet and pray. Right? Go pray in your closet like Jesus told you. But you don't get to tell everybody else what to do. My body, their choice. Which is, I mean, that's, it's just incredible. That's what they think freedom is? The freedom to tell other people that they have to follow the dictates of your sky spook, right? But no, this guy is talking. And he's not alone though. He's talking about how women shouldn't vote. You could find this on that sentiment on all conservative message boards, websites. I just saw something. In fact, let me keep playing this because I'm going to look up on my
society,
Twitter.
If you break it down to the basic building block, is not atomistic as individuals, but molecular, being households.
See
the way that God sees humanity is he breaks them down to
Okay, so
families.
let's talk about fucking science and molecules and then throw your sky spook in there. Tell me how the height of arrogance, right, for this guy, for this small, tiny, fragile little man to try to explain the mysteries of the universe and to tell us, he's going to tell us what he thinks a giant omnipotent being who knows the alpha, the omega, and every hair on your head, right? He knows everything. Time immemorial. Time in perpetuity. That's the word I'm trying to talk about. But he's very hyper focused on whether you have an innie or an outie, or whether you touch yourself before marriage, I guess, or whether you side hug or just handhold when you're engaged.
The way that God sees humanity is
how do you fucking know how God sees humanity? This is what really irritates me about these filthy fake Christians or whatever they are, whatever they call themselves. I mean, because we all know that if Jesus came back, they'd crucify him again. but that they think they know what God is, that they can ascribe, they know exactly what God says. They're going to translate for the rest of us. And of course, somehow God is always simply a giant version of their own tiny, small, very, very fragile selves, which doesn't make any sense, really. God knows everything, but he cares whether, you masturbate. Right? That's the big issues here. Not about whether everyone has health care, living wages, whether you're kind to people, whether you treat people with decency and respect. No, he wants you to be in your hierarchy, be in your place. This democracy is against God. This is what he's saying. Well, he's against his God. And you got to watch out for these right-wingers, because, it's not them. They're just doing what their God tells them. There's no difference between them and the terrorists, these Islamo-terrorists they constantly talk about. They're looking in a mirror when they're talking about people like that. These are the same kinds of people. If they had their way, you want to talk about make America great again, this country would be living in the dark ages. We would not be a shining city on the hill. Far from it. Be some backward ass theocracy where women are shit, where little fragile men they work out their manias on society. Everyone's in the closet. Right? Everyone who's gay, everyone who's trans, people are in the closet. People hate themselves. They want to kill themselves. That's what they want. Forget kindness, compassion, just humanity. People, being themselves, creating music, art, doing what the fuck you self-actualize. Whatever you think, your blip of time. This blip of time on this planet that we share together, they want to tell everybody else how to live it. It's so outrageous. And then to turn around and tell us how they're patriots and they love freedom. Please.
Down to families.
This guy sounds like J.D. Vance.
Random individual atoms all, bouncing
Jesus
around
Christ.
together and, 300.
What the fuck? You hear this shit? Atoms and molecules and everybody's bouncing around, and that means that women should not leave the house, right? Unless they're in a potato sack, and certainly they shouldn't vote. Because they're so precious. This is how these misogynists, they wrap their bullshit in their misogyny in some kind of honorific. Women are just so amazing and precious. We must protect them by keeping them down, keeping them in their place. This is where they're supposed to be, regardless of whether women want it or not. Everybody's different. You want to be a housewife? You want to stay in your house and stand by your man? Go fucking for it. Do it. This is the difference between normal people, liberals, Democrats, and Republicans. You don't see normal people going to these right-wingers' homes and saying, listen, lady, you gotta go out and stop with this, keep sweet and pray bullshit. We need you out there and, getting, I don't know. We need you doing what we want you to do. But you certainly see Republicans, right-wingers, conservatives, that's what they do. They will stand in front of a woman and tell her that she's not fulfilling her natural destiny if she's not doing what they think women should do or anybody should do. men should do this, women should do that. Like, shut the fuck up and live your own life. Leave us alone. That's freedom. And I always remember when Russia first invaded Ukraine, and the Ukrainians were modeling for the world what it really looks like to stand up for freedom and democracy, to fight for your country, unlike these filthy traitors who stormed the Capitol on January 6th and defecated and urinated in the halls because their dear leader received fewer votes but wasn't man enough to respect the peaceful transfer of power. That was good enough for George Washington, but not for traitor Trump. And I remember looking on Twitter, and some right-winger was like, this was before they got their marching orders to disparage Ukraine, before Putin he didn't have his all of his psyops in order yet on Elon Musk's Twitter, which is a cesspool. And they were saying, oh, look at these Ukrainians. They're we should all look up to them because they're not worrying about gender. This is what is on their fucking minds, They're not attacking each other about gender. And they said, the guy was like, they're fighting for freedom. They're not talking about genders, because they're very obsessed with people's genders, right? And peepees, whether the peepees dress properly and what they think should be the appropriate attire for the peepee, or And I was like, yeah, they're fighting for the freedom to be whatever fucking gender you want. And it's not about, I think one day I'll be a different gender. If you're trans, you're trans. If you're gay, you're gay. But they don't understand that. Why don't they just live and let live? But, okay, that's a whole other story. Because that's scary, I guess, to them. Especially if their religious authorities, their sky spooks, who are telling them the sky spook, like this asshole who's going on about molecules and atoms, and telling them their sky spook wants them to be, I don't know, exactly how he wants them to be, coincidentally.
50 million atoms bouncing together in one nation on one piece of land, but it's families. And so by repealing the 19th Amendment, just for the record, it's not just trying to take away a female vote, but it's trying to say, no, there's a family vote.
Right.
There's
right.
a household.
You hear this shit?
Where do women get their voice?
They get it from the man, of course.
From their father, from their husband.
Wow.
If they're not married, it's from their father. If they're not married and their father is dead, it's from their brother. It's from their uncle. It's from it's the men in
what
their
year
lives
is
that
this?
love them.
It's the men who love them. That's why they have to control. And now, what is different between this guy and the Taliban? There's nothing. No difference. These are the same. They're different sides of the same coin. One is a little bit more Jesus-y, and the other is more, Muhammad-y. And I don't care if they're talking about friggin' atoms and molecules or whatnot. Republicans are very good at wrapping their bullshit in the veneer of any kind of legitimacy, legal legitimacy or scientific legitimacy, when it's nothing of the sort. It's just their small-minded agenda. And this America thingy, is really over their heads. They don't know how to leave people alone. They don't understand how, we fight, die for freedom. The freedom for them to go live their life. If you want to find a woman that doesn't vote because you're her hubby and you're the friggin', head of the family, fine. But you don't see liberals going to them and saying, listen, sweetie, you can't live like that. You have to vote and you got to make your own way in spite of your fragile little bitch of a husband. But they certainly want to tell everybody else. Because this America thing, freedom is very scary to them. They're very small people. Look at their standard bearer. You're talking about a small person. He's the smallest of all. I'm just trying to find this. I don't remember if I used my regular account. Anyway, the point is, there was some tweet on here. Some motherfucking tweet. Where is it? And it was a woman, of course. And then this is what right-wing women do. They parrot their own, they parrot the oppression, the voice of the oppressor. And I guess they're looking for that patriarchal pat on the head from their right-wingers, their right-wing men who are very fragile, and they have to constantly validate them and tell them, yeah, you're right. You're so victimized, and women, the big problem is women voting and all that. I'm just trying to find it, but I can't. Anyway, some woman posted, I'm getting the feeling, and it wasn't just some random woman, right-wing woman. That's why I was trying to find it. It was one of their influencers saying that, I'm getting the feeling that this time around, voting is not going to solve our problems. Meaning, democracy. They hate democracy. And it's like Joe Biden would say, you can't call yourself a patriot when you love your country only when you win. See, Republicans in their right-wing media and their fascist propaganda outlets, they've turned voting, they've turned politics into a zero-sum game. They're not interested in compromise. How can you compromise when they've been busy vilifying the Democrats as evil? And in fact, I want to don't take my word for it. Hold on a second. Oh, God, I hate Trump. Oh, I'm going to get to it. Well, here's Trumpanzees themselves, in their own words.
I think it's no longer just about good versus bad. It's pure evil and righteousness right now. I think Trump is God's got his hand on him. I think he can help the country turn around and turn us back to the roots of what our founding fathers instituted for our country.
And getting back to
God and praying to him.
And what would that be? What would our
country turn around and turn us back to the roots?
What would the roots be? What would the founding fathers want? Because they gave us a living constitution. They knew that that people would change, that they had no idea what would happen in the future. I remember learning this in high school. What the hell is wrong with them? They knew that things would change. They couldn't predict how life would, how the country would evolve. But as George Washington said, he hoped that the United States or America would, how did he put it? I want to find the exact quote. That it would be a beacon for liberality, I think. Let me see. George Washington. Well, while I'm looking this up, here's some more Traitor Trump's dupes. This is how they open their rally.
We pray for President Donald John Trump today. God, that you would protect him. Lord, we pray that you would surround him with guardian angels. And that, Lord, if it be your will in November, God, for this man, this valiant man to stand in the White House once again, then Lord, we will be sure to give you all praise, all glory, and all honor. God, we pray for...
And if he loses, we will defecate and urinate in the halls of the Capitol.
President Donald John Trump today.
What is it with them having to constantly say his middle name? Does that make him somehow more of a man of stature? Less of a whiny little bitch? All it does is make him look more pathetic, really. Constantly in need of validation. I mean, Traitor Trump is Traitor Trump. You know, he is the disgusting con man parasite, tax cheating, draft dodging, wannabe dictator with the fake university, the convicted felon 34 times over, the convicted rapist with the classified documents in his shitter. You know, the one who called up the Secretary of State and said, I need you to find me these votes. The one who met with Putin in secret and then confiscated the transcript. You know, that fucking guy who writes love letters to Kim Jong-un and is, you know, probably the most unfit con man ever to squat in the Oval Office. But what is with these people? You know, he is him. You know, Trump is like a fish has got to swim, a bird's got to fly, and the con man's got to be a con man. But what's wrong with these people? This cult. And that's why I'm telling you, it will come to an end. You know, the cult is going to be the cult. They're going to get smaller and smaller, and more people are going to see the light. They're going to look at them as the ridiculous clowns that they are. They're going to be like, and I'm telling you, I don't care if they voted for him numerous times over. There will come a day where they will be reluctant to admit it. You know, the halfway normal ones. They're going to be like, yeah, I voted for him. People are going to be like, what the fuck is wrong? It's going to be a point of embarrassment and shame for them. No doubt. I'm telling you. I'm not a psychic, but, you know, you could just tell by history. Just like at the end of World War II. All the good, so-called good Germans. No one supported Hitler. None of them. Not a one. They were one of the good ones. Here's another one who sells books of prayers for Trump.
He wrote the book back in, I think, January, when it came out. And so we believe that we have to win this election first in the spirit before we can win in the natural. So we're just trying to raise awareness, get some people to buy the book. What? There's prayers in here that we can pray because we believe there's power in the name of Jesus. And that if we band together and we pray for Trump, that he will win this election.
Oh my God. Oh, honey, get a grip, really. He's a con man. He's got a fake fucking university, all right? A con man with a vitamin scam. You know, get a grip, lady. We believe that if we pray... Well, what are you going to do when he loses? Are you going to shit in the Capitol again? Oh, my... Matt on the chat said, she's probably fun at a party. These people are not fun at parties. They're not fun in everyday life, at parties, when you're walking down the street. Yeah, that's the irony, too, about them. When you look at them... I keep thinking that, you know, just doing the show and everything, it's been more than a few times I've been accused of having Trump derangement syndrome by these assholes. Trump derangement syndrome. Me. Little old me. No, that's not Trump derangement syndrome, right? The truck with the con man on the side who looks ripped, like he knows how to do one sit-up. please. And Trump is the most unfit, physically con man. I mean, what is he? What did he say he was? 6'2" and 218 pounds. Yeah, this isn't Trump derangement syndrome, though, right? How about that? Is that Trump derangement syndrome? Right? I wonder. But no, the ones who, normal people, we have Trump derangement syndrome. The ones who know him for what he is. Who know what a con man. Who, I mean. All right, hold on. I gotta get these off the screen here. It's incredible. We pray for President Donald John Trump. It's good versus evil. And that's only a few clips. I have a whole litany, a whole library of Trumpanzees praying and calling Trump the Messiah, basically. Especially now that that somebody shot at him. And the other thing is, did we talk about this on the last show? How his ear miraculously grew back. This is another failure of the corporate media. That no one touches it, right? No one asks the con man, what were you doing wearing that giant maxi pad on the side of your head when you clearly have zero injury on your ear? And if he was actually shot, with a assault weapon, he'd have no ear. If it hit his ear, he would have no ear left. But there you go. It's not enough that he was shot at. It's not enough that someone was killed, that some dumbass sucker was killed at one of his rallies. That's not enough for the con man. He's got to milk that for all it's worth. And he will not stop talking about how he's touched by God, because he knows that the dumbasses eat it up and will buy more of his Bibles. That's what it's about. It's absolutely shameless. So, okay, let me see. Should I play this press conference? Why not? Hold on. Here comes the music. I'll play it when we get back. We're going to go through some of the press conference of lies. It should be called. The press conference of lies. And here's really, and like I was saying earlier, when I was watching the press conference of lies, all I kept thinking was, what the fuck is wrong with the media in this country? Don't they have any shame? And then it went on for an hour or over an hour where he was simply whining and bitching and lying and so many things. We can go through them. I don't think we will get to all the lies, but one of the things that he did that really got on my nerves was he said something about Harris. Of course, he was like, nobody knows her name and blah, 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 but that's not even the worst of it. But then he said something about Gavin Newsom. He calls him New Scum. Get it? Scum. Because that's what you want in your leader, in your standard bearer, to be a man-child who likes to make names up, little pejoratives, that if a child did that in a student election, they would be disqualified from the election. They would be disciplined in the very least, right? But when you're the leader, the asshole you want to be the leader of the free world does it, the media says nothing about it. It really fucking annoys me. And the whole thing. Don't get me going with the Democrat Party thing. That's another thing. The media never points it out. What is wrong with this fucking media? Why don't what is this bullshit? New scum. Ha ha ha. Oh, this constant never calling the Democratic Party the Democrat Party. I mean, the Democrat, just only calling it the Democrat Party, I should say. It's just so, and the media never pointing it out. Okay? But here we go. Let's play some of it. Unbelievable. Well, this is how delusional they are. Before, I'm just looking for it. I found this.
Yeah,
right.
I think that women's rights are really important, and
important?
that Trump is fighting for women's rights.
See, that's how fucking delusional. Trump is really fighting for women's rights, ain't he? It's really important. Important. At least she didn't say important, like perjury, traitor, green. Oh my God, important. These people are kooks. They're kooky. They have no business being in, this is the thing. They really don't have any business being anywhere near power. Because look at what it does to them. You see? They can't handle it. They're kooky. It gets them nuts. They're unhinged. They think that, like Roseanne said, that, what did she say? That aborted babies are in McDonald's Impossible Burgers. This is a mark of how sick they are. They have no business being anywhere near power because they go off the fucking wall more than they already are. I mean, everything that they do, like, for example, they're all freaking out about Tim Walz saying that he likes white people spices. I don't even know. I wasn't even paying much attention to it. They made a joke about he likes white people spices or whatever, mayonnaise and something else. And all the Republicans, they lost their minds, as if that's something to focus on. Do some good. Go make the world safe for democracy. But you can't, because that's not what you're up to. Yeah, like J.D. Vance, another one, who, for example, goes on and on about what women should do, that we should value children, having children. Everybody should have children. Everyone, that corporations find, what did he say? That when children are not a blessing, they're a curse, which is such bullshit, because the fact is, if women in this country, or men, fathers or mothers in this country, have any family leave, it's only at the good graces of their corporate masters, right? Because there is no federal mandate for maternity leave, paternity leave, unlike every other country. Now, if J.D. Vance wasn't simply trying to divide people and bash women, maybe he would promote some policies instead of just standing there telling everybody how much they suck. How much they're not living up to what he thinks they should be doing, or what lives he thinks they should be leading. That's what government can lay the groundwork. You want people to have families. You want women who find themselves pregnant by accident or whatever. You want them to choose carrying a pregnancy to term? Why don't you promote the economic policies that actually make abortion less? What am I saying? Let people not choosing to have an abortion. The abortion rate does not go down when it's criminalized. What makes the abortion rate go down are democratic policies like living wages, retirement security, education, everything that the Republicans are against. They have no ideas. You know, for example, another thing. Okay, let's just play this fucking dumb bastard's press conference, because it's in there too, because he's going on about how Harris took his idea about no tax on tips. What a fucking idea. Where'd you come up with that one? No one ever thought of that before, right? Or no tax on Social Security. Well, we wouldn't even have to worry about it if the goddamn hero of the Republican Party, Reagan, didn't tax Social Security to begin with. I'm so sick of this fucking bullshit. And I guess that Traitor Trump's plan for no tax on tips is coming in 2 weeks, right? He could say whatever the fuck he wants to say, which is what he does. He said whatever he wants to say. And we know when he was running for the Oval Office against Hillary, and he was running on a progressive platform. At that time, he was talking about how he was going to have, everyone was going to get health care. They were going to repeal Obamacare, and everyone was going to get health care, and it was going to be cheap, and it wasn't going to cost anybody anything. Remember that? And it was coming in 2 weeks. Everything's coming in 2 weeks. But now, during his latest lie-riddled litany of slithering, filthy lies, he said that the worst thing that can happen is everyone getting health care. Well, I guess that was a Freudian slip, but we know, you know. Here's just a clip.
And you're not going to be allowed. You're all going to be thrown into a communist system. It's a
yeah,
communist
it's all
system.
Suck.
You're going to be thrown into a system where everybody gets health care.
Oh, really? Pretty please? If we vote for Harris? All right. You're not going to like it. Everything's going to suck. It's all going to blow up. There are mice and cats and dogs living like human beings and people, and you can't grab anybody by the pussy, and there's going to be no con men are going to be able to sell sneakers, and no one's going to call me sir, and it's just going to be, everything's going to suck, and I won't be able to cheat on golf, and it's just going to be like hellscape. And I listening to him, listening to this fucking goddamn, where is it? God damn it. So-called press conference? Now, let me ask you guys, they play this with, nonstop on MSNBC? Because I didn't notice. I saw this on C-SPAN. Because I couldn't believe what I was watching. Come on, where the fuck is it? Come on. Here we go. The litany of lies.
And I do thank you for being here.
Oh, eat my ass. See, I can't even let it go. 10 seconds. Just kiss my white Irish ass, you fucking orange traitor. That's how the press should have responded. Whether they're Irish or not, frankly. Oh, I thank everybody for being there. What is this shit on the side? He's got boxes of, what? What is that, Funyuns over there? Everything sucks. Everything that Harrison Biden touches is a nightmare. Except the fact is that Traitor Trump left office like the traitor, con man, slinking snake that he is, with 1 million corpses behind him. 1 million Americans made needlessly dead by this divisive, lying scumbag who so botched the pandemic, who took the pandemic, that could have been an opportunity for the American people to unite against a common foe. We're in this together. We should care about each other. We, as Americans, the least you can do is put a piece of cloth on your face and maybe save somebody's life. These same people that are all like talking about, storming the beaches of Normandy. Nobody's asking them. No one asked them to storm the beaches of Normandy. Not that they would do that either. Like Traitor Trump, they call some Shylock goddamn quack and get them to write that their feet hurt. Scumbags.
And we don't have very much heat. So
eat my ass.
Weather
Fuck
for this.
you. Perfect. It's perfect. I'm surprised he didn't say he brought the weather. The perfect weather.
Record inflation. She cast the votes. She's trying.
Oh, fuck you. I mean, everything. When I was watching this litany of lies from the con man, all you got to do is take 10 seconds to look it up, to look up what he's saying. And it's a lie. You know right away it's a lie. But there goes the press sitting there. They just sat there and listened to this shit.
To blame Biden, as you know.
Yes, I know.
So it was
Everything
Biden,
sucks.
but I'm going to do a better job. But it was her. And if she wants to do a better job, she's still got 5 months left.
Oh,
right?
shut up,
but
you
she can't
whiny.
do a better job because she doesn't know how to.
Oh, yes.
And she's of a place in life where she wouldn't know what a better job is.
Oh, my
It'll
God.
destroy
What does
our
that
country.
mean?
And as a result of Kamala's inflation price hikes, they've cost a typical household a total of $28,000. These are numbers coming
which is
from
a lie.
government. They're not
That's not coming from government. That's coming from your orange ass. Yes, inflation went up because of supply chain problems, because of him botching the pandemic. In part, of course, but Republicans, the party of personal responsibility, never take responsibility for the shit they create, their failures. But, okay, that number is completely inflated, as I'm sure you're surprised to hear, right? I know. What a shock that he would lie as easily as inhale a fucking cheeseburger.
coming from me.
Yeah, well,
$28,000 she's cost a typical
bullshit.
household.
That is a lie. In fact, I looked that up. I was like, where's he getting this $28,000? He's lying, of course. He, according to the fact check, the figure is significantly exaggerated. That the price increases post-pandemic have cost the average American household $8,000 annually, not $28,000 fucking dollars. I don't know where. Of course, that's what Republicans do. That's what Trump does. They take a little bit of truth, like every good Nazi, That's what they do. You take a little bit of truth and you heap your lies. You wrap your lies in a smidgen of truth. But the fact is, inflation is going down at a rapid pace. And Trump, by every measure, Trump was the worst president for jobs. He left office with a worse record than Herbert Hoover. And that had nothing to do with the pandemic, as we know. Not even factoring the pandemic. When you take the pandemic out, Trump is still a failure. Because he fails at everything he touches. And that's why this is another thing that Trump goes on about. He says how Trump, what did he say? Everything Kamala touches, she destroys. Now, where did I hear that before? There's a book. It's called Everything Trump Touches Dies, and it's a common phrase that's used to describe Trump, that everything he touches dies. He kills everything he touches. This is not something new that we're making up. And of course, I know you are, but what am I? That should be the Republican moniker. Fuck the party of personal responsibility. Please. I wish. When are they going to start taking responsibility for how many Americans they killed? For turning this country into a land of mass graves? For turning this country into a divided state? That's what they've done. They'll never stop either. That's why they're like, oh, you take out the blue states, there's hardly any death. Who the fuck would say that? Now, if you, can you imagine a Democrat saying that, a Democratic president, or anybody in the Democratic Party saying that about red states, even though, and we've talked about this on the show, and I hope that the Democrats who in the halls of power who listen to this show, that they start using it, because it's time to give the party of personal responsibility credit where credit is due. That they have the worst run states, that the Inflation Reduction Act, that the Infrastructure Act that Democrats finally passed, turning Infrastructure Week, taking it from Traitor Trump's line of just a statement of irony or humor, and turning it into a reality, that over 80% of the initiatives of the jobs and the infrastructure projects in the infrastructure bill are going to red states. You know why? Because the Republicans who run these red states, they do fuck all for the people who vote for them. They do nothing for them. They let them drive on shitty roads. They let their infrastructure crumble. They let them drink out of lead pipes. They let them live with sewage. I'm not exaggerating. We've done the stories on the show. They don't do a thing for them. Oh, well, they monitor the bathrooms, I'm sure. There'll be no tampons in anyone's bathrooms in the red states. Oh yeah, of course. They'll have the pee-pee patrol in there, trying to find out if your pee-pee is in the right attire or the right bathroom. They want to see if you are a girl with short hair or something. And they've done this. We've seen the videos on TikTok. We played them here, where a young woman who happened to have short hair is being assaulted by some Trumpanzee in a bathroom who calls security on her because she wants to see her pee-pee. Even though she was born female, she was a cis female, but the woman, she couldn't understand. She had short hair. She wants to see her pee-pee. That's what's going on in red states. So the Democrats need to remind the American people that, just like with the economy, that Republicans are not good for the economy. They suck. They destroy the economy. And the fact that the Democrats come in and rescue the economy again and again and again, after every Republican Great Depression and the near Republican Great Depression, again, twice in 100 years. And then after the pandemic, here comes Joe Biden. Here we go again, cleaning up the messes that the greedy bastard Republicans leave behind, because they're not in government for altruism. They're not in there to help the American people have living wages or get a day off, or a week, or how about a month where they can bond with their newborn, like in every other country, right? You know, J.D. Vance will tell you what women should be doing and how much he loves babies. But just like Republicans, he will do fuck all for babies. The rest of the Republicans, they'll just let the fuck babies. Who cares? Babies, schmabies. They don't want babies to have health care. They vote against it. They vote against expanding health care, expanding hot lunches. They hate babies. Days off? Forget about it. We're the only country that has no maternity leave. No maternity leave, no paternity leave, like every other country. How about health care? Traitor Trump's up there saying, oh, it's going to be hell. Everybody could, when Harris is elected, everyone's going to get health care. Oh, my Lord. Oh, the humanity. But it's time to give the Republicans credit for the disasters they create. They suck. Not only is their agenda, the only thing they have is a war on women. They're obsessed with women's bodies and everybody else's bodies. Not just women, I should say. I mean, mostly women. But it's about the hierarchy. They want, and really, you know, their homophobia, their transphobia, it is rooted in misogyny. We know that. And, you know, that would just blow their minds. But it's true. It's all about hating women. But they just, you know, this America thing is really beyond them. Freedom. Freedom is anathema to these people. Freedom is what they call woke. That's just too damn woke for them. If you're free to be yourself, free to live an authentic life, free to not be harassed, free to, you know, be the person you want to be. Isn't that what we're supposed to do? You know, we all get together as a country and a community, and we lay the groundwork, the infrastructure of democracy. Free. That's why, you know, we have freedom, right? Oh, Republicans will say, well, the only thing government should do is the military and the police. Well, so that I guess we can be free to be ourselves, right? No. But trust me, Republicans want all the benefits of civilization. They just don't want any of the responsibilities that we have to each other. Trust me. We've done videos on here and gone over articles. That's the truth. When you hear them complain, when you hear the Trumpanzees complain about, you know, migrants are coming and taking over, and you'll hear Traitor Trump go on about it. He wants the, you know, even in this lie-riddled so-called press conference, he goes on about how, oh, the migrants are all getting Social Security and Medicaid, which is bullshit, of course, right? But what he wants people to think is that so-called illegals are coming and Democrats are giving them health care and Social Security. They're giving them things that we would give to white people if not for migrants getting it. You see what I'm saying? See, it really is that the Trumpanzees and all the right wingers, they want more Social Security. They want health care. They want it all, except they just don't want to share with other people. And that's why the Republicans tell them, no, it's not the billionaires. It's not the fact that the tax code is skewed to make the rich richer, and that, you know, Traitor Trump, for example, and Elon Musk, you know, laughing their asses off about firing union workers and whatnot. It's not all. It's not that. It's that brown people are taking what should really go to them. You know, it's all to keep it's the oldest conspiracy, which is why the Republicans are so irritating, besides everything else, because they tell them that their problems are because of brown people getting over, instead of the tax code skewed to make the rich richer and the working class the more malleable working poor.
Kamala's inflation nightmare continues to cost the average American family $1,100 every single month. $1,100. Again, government numbers. You're paying $148 more a month
government numbers.
On food. It's every month. Average family.
Like he gives a shit?
Because Kamala.
Get the fuck out of here.
And her ideas, and Joe Biden too. I mentioned him, but he's sort of gonzo. It all started with the debate. I should have been a little bit easy.
Yeah,
Somebody
sure,
said
Traitor.
your debate performance was horrible. I said, why? Because you forced him out of government.
Yes, I'm surprised you didn't say
I believe she'll
sir.
be just as bad. I believe she's maybe in many ways going to be worse because he wasn't really a radical left. But she is. She's real.
Oh, really? Because I have a whole bunch of clips of him going on about how Joe Biden is a radical socialist, radical leftist. But, I guess he's not anymore.
So I think she's going to be, in many ways, easier to beat.
Sure, honey.
Than Joe
you
Biden.
Keep telling
what they
yourself
did to
that.
him was disgraceful, by the way.
Oh.
And it really is a threat to democracy. It was a coup.
Yes, it's a coup. Not the coup that you organize and continue to with your lies about the so-called election that was stolen from the poor con man, which, you didn't see Biden calling up the Secretary of State of Georgia and saying, I need you to find me the amount of votes I need to win. And you didn't see the Democrats storming the Capitol and breaking windows, defecating, urinating in the halls, but okay, it's a coup. The coup was against Joe Biden, not against not the right wingers, against democracy, who these filthy fascists will never stop lying, as we know. I mean, all over the country, they don't accept the results of an election. And it's all because of Traitor Trump's lies. I would think that maybe it's because of the maybe too many Trump Network vitamins, the non-FDA approved Trump Network vitamins, or the Trump University scam degrees on their walls. I don't know, but it's really some kind of, you talk about Trump derangement syndrome. And thank you, non-useful, for your super chat. Very useful. Thank you. They need the white birth the white birth dearth to rise so white can remain supreme. Yeah, that's it. Because they need, they know how inadequate they truly are. So if we are a country of equality, without their privilege, we'll see how inadequate they truly are. I guess that's probably their fear. And of course, they want everybody in their place. And that certainly is white men at the top. Oh my goodness. All right, guys, come on over to youtube.com/c4channel/Tarabuster. Thank you, Progressive Voices. We got more show over there. Become a patron at patreon.com/TaraDevlin, because we don't have big billionaire benefactors. We just have each other. And we will win. As Harris says, when we fight, we win. And we will win. Why? Because we're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. Thank you, Charlie from APS Radio News, for your ever-loving support. All right. Let's get back to the con man.
By people that wanted him out, and they didn't do the way, not the way they're
supposed
to do it.
Shut your hole. This is, the thing with this con man and the goddamn corporate media watching this bullshit, just sitting there like beaten dogs and not saying, just putting up with this bullshit of this litany of lies that will not stop. And the way he puts everything, so like a Rorschach test, like you're supposed to project whatever you're thoughts are onto what he's saying. You know, it's like, oh, you know, like everybody sees, like nobody's ever seen. And, you know, it was so wrong. You know what I'm saying? And he's never specific about anything. Of course, because he's full of shit. But, and the corporate media, they just sit there. Like, I mean, maybe it's the mind-numbing aspect of the way he talks, the non-stop lies. It does kind of beat down on your brain, and I guess after a while you get into some kind of trance of get me the fuck out of here. I mean, I don't understand. I just don't get it. It's like hypnosis, Haiku on the chat. It's like, oh, God.
Fail, it'll be a blow up like you've never seen before.
See, I mean, shut the fuck up. It's going to suck. It's going to fail. It's going to blow up. It's going to... Like, listen to this shit.
Percent under Harris to a record high. It's now at a record high. It's never been anywhere close.
I love the way
Since
he reads and then he repeats himself. It's a record high. It's like it's a record high like no one's ever seen. It's a record high.
The way people are going to have to start paying that, and it's not going to be a pretty
your
sight
hole
for the next period of time. It could be a substantial time. Since March of 2022, the average middle-class household has lost $33,000 in wealth. How about that?
How about that? Bullshit. Since March? You're so full of shit. Well, what about when Traitor Trump left office? The worst president since Herbert Hoover. Not counting the pandemic. Trump is a failure. But okay.
That's average. In July alone, 350,000 people were added to the unemployment rolls.
Even though we have the lowest unemployment in, I think, 6 generations. I don't know what it is. It's decades. Donald Hoover Trump. That's what he's called.
A lot of people, 350,000 people added to the unemployment rolls.
Where are you getting your lies from?
Think of that. That's in 1 month. Think of it. That's in July.
In 1 month. He's so full of shit. Like, where the fuck is he living? Everyone says, people are saying, exactly. Tim on the chat, people are saying, I heard, like nobody's ever seen. It's all, can you imagine? Can you say, somebody said.
Virtually 100% of the net job creation in the last year has gone to migrants. You know that? Most of the job.
Yeah, we don't know that because it's not true. You're a liar. That's the other thing. You know, we've talked about this before after the debate where Biden, you know, it wasn't a stellar performance, but what's worse? Somebody who's a little bit, you know, feeble, who says billions, I mean trillions or whatever, or some fucking con man that never stops lying. I mean, the lies were epic on that so-called debate too. Exactly. Tim on the chat, take his passport now. He needs to. They need to take his passport because he's going to try to leave. He's going to try to skip town. And he'll never face consequences
Creation has
of his lies and, well, of his crimes. He's a fucking criminal. Should be in prison 10 times over, especially for him sending a mob to storm the Capitol, trying to overthrow democracy, and then the continuation of his lies about the election. Enough is enough. And the fact that the fucking corporate media sits there and listens to it and plays it, that so much so that it's now an article of faith for the Republicans that they all have to agree that the election was stolen from the goddamn con man, the serial bankrupt tax cheat, the one who lost more money than every American taxpayer in the taxes that we have, in the 10 years of taxes we have, because of the fact that he was being sued by his niece because he was trying to steal her inheritance. And in discovery, he had to submit his tax returns. And we have those tax returns because they were released by his niece. And in those tax returns, not me, it's him. He received the largest tax refund because he declared more losses than every single American taxpayer. So of all 320 million of us, he's the biggest parasite. He's the biggest loser. That's your hero. You filthy, disgusting Trumpansies. I mean, shame on you. Really. Shame on you. They make me sick, but frankly, worse than that, they make everyone sick. They make the country sick. They make the world sick. They are sick. I mean, even the way he goes after veterans, saying what a great honor it is. He's giving this rich bitch, Sheldon Adelson's widow, the Medal of Freedom. She got the Medal of Freedom. What a great thing that she didn't have to be like the Medal of Honor recipients who had to die or get maimed for their medals. And she could still look beautiful, because it's all about getting the honors without any of the sacrifice. That's the Trumpansie way. That's why he paid people to take his tests in college. He likes to brag that he went to these great schools. He went to Wharton. He has all these degrees, supposedly. But for such a scholar who went to these great schools, he doesn't know where to put the apostrophe in YOU''RE. Or he doesn't know when to use their or they are, right? Someone who really, as we know, his niece, Mary Trump, told us, he paid people to take his SATs, to take his tests, to show up for him. Because all he wanted was the piece of paper that says, look, Ma, I'm somebody. He doesn't seem to understand that he cheats himself. It's like when all the traitors were cheering, Nobel, Nobel, like he needed a Nobel Peace Prize. He wanted to have a Nobel Peace Prize. Because they want all the accolades. That's why they disdain. It's like it's like the sour grapes. Oh, I didn't want those grapes anyway. They were sour. And meanwhile, that's all they want. Or accolades. That's why they're like, oh, sir. He wants us to believe that other world leaders call him sir. Please. They fucking laugh at him. Putin laughs at him. Putin hates his guts. He knows what a bitch he is. He knows what a manipulatable bitch he is. He knows what a live one he has on the hook. Kim Jong-un, same thing. Could you imagine being the bitch of Kim Jong-un? What a disgrace. You want to talk about, he likes to use that word, disgrace. He's a disgrace. To give Kim Jong-un everything he wanted, to elevate him, to have an American president go to him like a bitch. For what? Nothing. He got nothing from him. And Kim Jong-un got everything. Got the PR win. He got all the propaganda. Look at me, an American president. Came and came to me. What a fucking disgrace. Oh, but he envies Kim Jong-un. You know, he says jump, and his people say how high. They snap to attention. I want my people to be like that. That's what he said. He wants the American people to snap to attention to him? Fuck him. Because, he's such a victim. All he wants to do is make America great. That's what he says. I'm trying. He's making America great, isn't he? Could you, I keep thinking about the million Americans in their cold, early graves because of that fucking con man. And who used that, who wouldn't give a shit about the American people, who told them it was going to disappear, that they shouldn't take precautions, that as soon as he got on stage and and his Trumpanzees booed when he said, get the vaccine, and they all booed. That's what a whiny bitch follower he is. He never said it again. He never said, oh, come on, you got to get the vaccine. We're in this together, guys. You can't let your granny die. Think about the first responders, right, who haven't had a day off in a year, unlike me, who has executive time every fucking day. He spent more time away from the White House. Remember, that was another lie, too. And I'm a so-called president despite receiving fewer votes. I'll never go golfing. Remember that? I'll always be in there working for you. God, you suckers. You fucking disgraces. Should be ashamed of yourselves. If you were conscious, you would be. Oh, God. God saved him. From what? He didn't save the guy that was sitting behind him, though. You should be ashamed of yourselves. That poor person. They have no decency, though. Oh, God. What's her face? Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She's not even an assassin's bullet could stop him. Because he's protected by God. What about the fucking idiot behind him who died? Shot in the head. And then the asshole has to wear. That's not good enough, that somebody died. That he has to walk around with a goddamn maxi pad on his head. Could you imagine? Okay, I'm so sick of him and them. But think about it. If it were a Democrat, would the corporate media never say anything? If, let's say, what would happen? All right, what am I trying to say? If someone shot at a Democrat, he didn't get shot, of course, Trump. He got hit by a piece of shrapnel. If he got shot in the ear, he would have no ear. We know that. And whatever, fuck him. He's a con man. But if it were Biden or any other Democrat that this happened to, and you think that the corporate media wouldn't be demanding to see the medical records from this incident? Why can't we see Traitor Trump's medical records? We got a paragraph from Ronnie Johnson, or Jackson. I know that Trump calls him Johnson. He's not even a doctor. Okay? He let his doctorate, his license is expired. And he wrote a note for the Traitor saying that he had some fucking scratch on his ear that didn't even require a stitch. But do you think that the corporate media wouldn't be demanding to see if it was Biden or any other Democrats' medical records about this incident of national security importance, right? The whole thing has national security importance. Why can't we see the medical records? They don't even ask. And you think if Biden all of a sudden started wearing a giant Kotex on the side of his head with no, and then took it off a couple of days later, and there's no traces of an injury, would any of the media be so silent about it? It's sickening. It's like they let him get away with everything.
Migrants. In fact, I've heard that substantially more than...
Oh, shut up, liar.
Beyond the number of 100%. It's a much higher number than that.
It's more than 100%?
The government hasn't caught up with that yet, but virtually right now, as of the time they did
it's even more.
This,
Can you believe it's even more than 100%?
Actually, 100% of the net job creation in the last year
is all migrants. Yeah, right. Right. I thought it was bounce back jobs, Traitor. Right? He likes to take credit. And whenever anything goes wrong, he had nothing to do with it. He takes no responsibility. That's your party of personal responsibility. Oh, no, I don't take any responsibility. No, he didn't take any responsibility for killing 1 million Americans. That's right. That's right. And Tim on the chat, it's just like magic. The "you can't make me wear a mask" crowd started to wear bandages on their uninjured ears. Exactly. Because it's a fucking cult of traitors who wouldn't pull a hair for this country. They like Trump because he's as racist and ugly and small-minded, and unreachable as they are. Yeah, go live in your 1600s, Project 2025. Please. They're working on Project 1625. We've seen the movie before that the Republicans want to inflict on us, and it's called The Dark Ages, where the church and state are intertwined, where the rich run and own everything. Everyone else works in the field. You're on your own, booby. You await your reward in heaven. You have any problem, no social safety net, you go to the church. If God help you. That's what they want. It's the same system the founders overthrew. And Traitor Trump, you have your monarchy, and they get to put their flunkies into the positions of power. You can make them dukes and barons of your court, right? And then the administrative state, it all functions to lick the ass of the monarch. That's what they're doing. They're rolling back the American Revolution. Going back from, forget the Enlightenment. We're going right to the Dark Ages. If you have money, you can get an education. That's the world they want. They hate. That's why every pillar of democracy they attack. Everything that unifies the American people, they attack. Yeah, they want to talk about public education. They hate public education. That's government schools. Telling your little brat that the earth wasn't created in 6 days, 7 days. Oh, no, it was 6, because then they rested. Then the giant sky spook who happens to have a penis? I don't know. Why would your giant man on a cloud, why would he even be a man on a cloud with a penis? Why does he have a penis? I was always weirded out by that. A giant penis? This all-powerful man. I mean, I could see the pantheon of gods of Greece and Rome and other societies. They needed a penis. because they were having sex. They were coming down and they were impregnating beautiful humans that were turning into swans and making babies, making demigods and goddesses. They had all kinds of, mischief going on. So that's why they would have a penis, Zeus and all the not Helen, well, was she a demigod or something? No, I don't remember the whole story there. Zeus and Hera and all the Greek and Roman gods, they needed their, genitalia. Why do you got this mono god? He needs a penis for what? Where does he relieve himself? In Mitch McConnell's district, I guess?
To migrants, Paris gave work permits and Social Security numbers to more than 3 million illegal immigrants.
Bullshit. It just never stops, really. There's a whole list of the lies. You can't stop. That's what fascists do. The fire hose of lies never stops. Never stops.
To steal jobs from Americans. So
Bullshit. Bullshit.
And they're
Bullshit.
having a lot of problems with Social Security.
Oh, yeah, sure. You're going to save it.
Be the one to save Social Security, but they're having a lot of problems with
We're having so many problems like nobody's ever seen. You can't even... nobody's ever seen it because nobody's ever seen it. What's the problem? Pay your fucking taxes, bitch. How about that? Pay your taxes, traitor. Like when Traitor Trump was debating, so-called, with Hillary Clinton, and she said, "You're a tax cheat," and he said, "That makes me smart." You see, that should have been the end of him there too. And she pointed out rightly that every tax you cheat, you're not cheating. You're cheating the American people. You're not paying your fair share. Like FDR said, taxes are the admission price to a civilized society. So pay your fucking fair share, you parasite. But okay, and every tax you don't pay, these great supporters of the troops, you're not paying for a helmet, a weapon, body armor. You're not paying for the privileges of living in a civilized society. But he thinks that makes him smart to be a parasite. He should have been... See, I wish the Democrats would listen to this show, and I'm talking about the Democrats in power, because they could have taken that and turned it on its head. Because they could have just went with, you're a parasite. Trump is a parasite. The Trump parasite. Yeah, people don't like paying taxes or whatever, but you have to understand, you're paying for the infrastructure. You're paying for the roads you drive on, the food that you eat that is inspected, the water you drink when you open your tap and you make your coffee. You're not getting explosive diarrhea because it's inspected. There's no parasites in it. You don't have to go out and dig a well. Like in the ancient Rome, before they built the aqueducts, you would have to take a 4-hour walk to the water source and then walk it back. Good luck. So, and then they brought when they built aqueducts, they brought it into the city, and then it was like a 20 or half an hour walk. So that's the you build the infrastructure of freedom and democracy where we get to do things like, have a podcast or take a nap, for fuck's sake. Or enjoy your time, your blip of time with your loved ones. And in other countries, they understand that, that we are in this together. When you help somebody, you'll help yourself. And what a different country this would be if the American people understood this, where when they're like, oh, I had to pay my student loan, so why don't you? Like because the Republicans are trying to undo that now. You realize in Project 2025 and what Traitor Trump is talking about, that if they get in power, these filthy fascists, they're going to make all those who have had their student loans forgiven are going to be unforgiven. That's what they are doing. It's not me. It's them. They're putting it on paper. They're also trying to turn back, of the successes we've had, or the Biden administration has had, with Medicare negotiating drug prices. You realize that that the traitors are in court right now trying to ensure that Medicare doesn't have to negotiate drug prices anymore. They want to go back to what George Bush saddled us with, these high drug prices. And that's the other thing, with the Democrats. They really are bad at giving credit where credit is due. It should have always been. When you talk about Medicare negotiate or not being able to negotiate drug prices, everyone should know that was George W. Bush. Why the Democrats don't repeat that like they do they don't repeat any. They should listen to the fucking show and take these talking points. They need to repeat it. Like, give the Republicans credit for what they've done. That's why the American people think that the Republicans are good with the economy. No, they're not. They're only good at making. They're good at branding. They're good at propaganda. They think that, because this is what the American people think. They think that the Republicans will lower your taxes. That's what they think. Where they don't lower your taxes, Joe and Schmo America. They lower Traitor Trump's taxes. They lower Sheldon Adelson's taxes, Elon Musk's taxes. You get stuck with the bill, whatever's left, because the shit still has to get done while the Republicans are trying to cut it. That's why they come after everything that the American people need, and they blame migrants. They blame brown people, illegals. It's a scam. And I wish these fuckers, these dumbasses, these cultists, who see the conspiracies everywhere, right? They see everybody's, the swamp, the conspiracy of what? I never understood that, too, because they always go on about how that, the Biden crime family and Democrat and George Soros. George Soros is, taking over. What is he doing? Because if George Soros gets his way, what's the end game? What? We have clean air, clean water, renewable, and I don't know. His taxes go up. His businesses are highly regulated. Where's the big conspiracy? But same thing, right? With Democrats. I wish that all these Trumpanzees who see these conspiracies, but what they're talking about are the conspiracies of like the Nazis talked about, like the eternal Jew. That's the truth. That's why, when they talk about globalists, just interchange the eternal Jew, which was the Nazi frame. Same shit, different day. But the real conspiracy is the one that is as old as recorded history. Divide and conquer, especially along racial lines, to make the rich richer and keep the working class at each other's throats. And if they could only see that. But
Social Security, because under their system of putting all of the United States of America. So to be competitive on AI, I was talking to people from mental institutions and insane asylums.
We only have 4 minutes left.
And their population for the mentally ill is way down.
Yeah, sure, it's way down like nobody's ever seen. And ours is way up like nobody's ever seen because nobody's ever seen it. It doesn't exist. No one's ever seen what hasn't existed. Like nobody's ever seen. I can't take it. Let's just get to because we only have a few minutes left. Let's see where they start asking him questions.
Coming in right now. Okay.
Mr. President.
Mr. President.
Many of your allies.
Mr. President. He's not the fucking president, but okay.
Saying, well, when's it getting here, sir? There's a supply chain disruption.
Oh, sir. He started telling his sir stories. Sir. Oh, shut up. Oh, God, please. When is that great getting up morning gonna happen? You know what I mean? When? I'm gonna lose it. When is that great getting up morning? You know what I mean? You know what I mean.
And I mean, you end up getting stuff like 3 months late now. I don't know if all these geniuses over here, I think we can say that. I'm not sure that you're necessarily as much into it, but they are.
Oh, my God.
And I will say that
it's
very often
mind-numbing.
we have problems with supply chains where
Yeah.
I'm waiting for things for weeks and weeks, and I say, by the way, whatever happened to it? Supply chain, sir? It's not coming in.
Sir, why don't you go away permanently, you know? God, I can't wait till he rots in prison. You know what I mean? It's coming. It can't come fast enough. But to talk about... Oh, wait. Where are these stupid fucking dumbass media assholes?
Politician in history. I mean, probably for any politician for a city.
Oh, shut your hole.
I'm running against the Democrats. So it's a two-party system, whether we like it or not. Republican, I'm the Republican, and I'm leading. But let's say I'm tied, but I'm leading. I believe I'm leading by a lot more than people think.
By a lot.
And I believe we'll be leading by a lot more.
Oh.
Fracking, end fossil fuel.
Who can even stand it?
Whether it's Oklahoma or Texas, our country was coming together. And,
really?
You know, I can tell you the story of criminal justice reform. When you do that, that means that's a...
No. Where
Russia,
is it?
I was probably the toughest. I ended Nord Stream 2.
Go on strike and you say that's okay, you're all gone, so every one of you is gone. Are you really comfortable with companies threatening to fire workers who go on strike?
Well, no, I want companies to get workers that are going to love them and
yes, I want the cleanest of all waters. I want the cleanest of air. I want the cleanest of companies who love workers and workers that love them. And they're so malleable. They don't have anything. They're desperate. So they don't stand up to their betters. That's what I want.
And they're going to be...
Where is this? I'm trying to find this one asshole on here. There's a few to speak of, but...
I just talked about it, and I moved to my right.
He's talking about... here's the end of the show for now. Wait, but... We will win. We will win. Why? Because we're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. We stick together, we win. My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you, Charlie from APS Radio News, for keeping the show going and growing and always being in my corner. And for loving little Boudica. And for loving the community cats. And little Spooky. And thank you, patrons. Patreon.com/Tara Devlin. Become a patron. Yeah, and all that other shit. Let me see. I just want to go over some more lies from here. Let's see. He goes on about it's drill baby drill. I'm going to drill baby drill. Of course, the United States is drill baby drilling. We are a net exporter. We've never drilled more. Not that, whatever. It is what it is, though. He labeled Harris as a radical leftist. She's really not. Okay. He's very triggered by poll sizes. He says that eggs are up 46%. He's full of shit. That's not true. What else? Job losses. During Traitor Trump's so-called presidency, despite receiving fewer votes, the economy lost 2.7 million jobs. The unemployment rate increased by 1.7 percentage points to 6.4 by the end of his term. He saw an average growth, GDP growth, of 2.67, which, when excluding the pandemic-induced recession, dropped to 1.45. And it is one of the worst GDP growth rates among all modern presidents. The federal debt increased significantly during Traitor Trump's so-called presidency. He increased it from $14.4 trillion to $21.6 trillion. He added $8.4 trillion to the national debt because he's a piece of shit. And, a liar. The trade deficit, despite promises to reduce it, he increased, reaching its highest level since 2006. Even though the pandemic severely impacted the economy during Traitor Trump's final year, he was the worst despite the pandemic. Inflation was low during his presidency due to external factors, including wages for rank and file workers, but which he had nothing to do with, and in fact was hostile to rising wages of rank and file workers. So he's just a dumb bastard. So, excluding the pandemic, Trump's economic record is shit, just like the rest of him. That's right. The economy added approximately 7 million new jobs before the pandemic, and then he ended his term with a net loss of 3 million jobs. So he's just a piece of dirt. His tax cuts, the only thing he ever did was pass tax cuts for over 80% of which went to the top 1%. And of course, his tax cuts, the 2017 tax cuts, did not deliver the promised economic boom. I mean, what a surprise, right? Because Republicans, they're liars. They say tax cuts pay for themselves. That's not true. They say it'll trickle down into your mouth. Maybe some will get in your mouth when they trickle on you, if you beg hard enough. No, it never trickles. We're waiting. We're begging. Well, I'm not begging, but they are. Trumpanzees, they're begging and hoping some probably gets in their mouth, I guess. They disproportionately benefit corporations. I'm talking about his tax cuts and the wealthy, which led to increased deficits, of course, because that's what they do. And, like I said, the deficit rose significantly in the 2018 deficit reaching $779 billion, which was $216 billion more than forecasted before the tax cuts. Despite the tax cuts, though, Traitor Trump said that it would be a boom to business. But guess what? Business investment declined during Traitor Trump's maladministration, meaning, as we can deduce, that the tax cuts did not effectively stimulate economic growth as the traitor promised. Also, while unemployment was low at the beginning of 2020, that's because he was handed a booming economy from Obama. Income growth during Traitor Trump's maladministration was slow and slower than President Obama. Median household income averaged 2.1% a year under Trump compared to 2.6% during Obama. Trump's trade policies, including tariffs, did not achieve the goal of revitalizing manufacturing jobs and contributed to a larger trade deficit. So everything that he promised, what are you, surprised, did not come to fruition. And there you go. He's a liar. He's a filthy liar, like they all are. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the Democrats not giving credit where credit is due. All right, guys, listen. I want to say good night, Tim. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you. Keep coming back. It works if you work it, so work it. You're worth it. Tell your friends. We hang out here every Friday night, 8:30-ish p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then we do a weekday show. So like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can join us. And we got more show, but let's get together again, hopefully during the week. I will try to do a weekday show because I can't stand waiting a week. There's too much going on. And we have to get together. I miss you. I love you. Where's Buddha? Oh, look. Look at her. She's so cute. You see her? Let's see. Let's wake her up. Boudica. She's cute. All right. Listen. Thank you for hanging out. Look at her. She's cute. Are you awake? She's cute. All right, guys. It's okay if you can't be in the chat, Errol. I'm glad you're here. All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out tonight. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, non-useful. You're very useful. And nice to see everyone. Thank you, Haiku, as always. Thank you so much for being a moderator and for everything else you do to keep the show going and growing. Keep me normal. Thank you, Jim, for being a moderator. And thank you for your super chat. All right, my friends. I gotta go. I'm tired. Look at Buddha. She's tired, too. I love you all. My name is Tara Devlin. If you want, you could join the Discord page. You can send me a message or whatever. If you have things. Look at her. She's yawning. She's cute. Oh, yes. Look at her collar. Oh, white. Buddha. She's wearing a pink collar. Where's the producer? He's over here. Let me see. Can I turn on my iPhone camera? Yes. There he is. Tara Jr. Tara. Tara Jr. Hello. Let's zoom in on Boudica. Oops, wait, I hit the wrong button. Oh, wait, here we go. Hi, Buddha. Look at her face. Look at her collar. See? Hi, Buddha. All right. That's my keyboard. That's my Tarabuster mug. You can have one yourself. If you're a patron and you send me a email or message. All right, my friends. She's the cutest. They're all cute. I love them all. Maybe we'll show. Where's Ray Ray? They got collars. Yes, they all have new collars. And I got them all little tags with their names on it. Because I felt bad because Boudica was the only one that had one. So I didn't want her to think, or them to think, that they weren't as special as Booty. All right, my friends. You're the best. Thank you so much. I love you all. And I will see you. I'll see you during the... Where is it? Where's my thing here? Okay. I'll see you during the week.